Okay, we are moving on from fractions and we are starting our ATO standards. Okay, so this is 5.ATO.1 and this is the order of operations. Okay, you've probably seen this before. Pemdas. Okay, we think of it as please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Why don't you practice saying it? Very good. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And that's the way that we remember it. Okay, but PEMDAS actually has a meaning behind it. The P stands for parentheses. The E stands for exponents. The M stands for multiply. The D stands for divide. The A stands for addition. And the S stands for subtraction. Okay, so please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So it's important that you remember PEMDAS when we solve these problems that are coming up. Okay, and we're going to reference this again in just a minute. So I'm going to give you a problem that looks like this. 30 minus 8 times 2. Okay. When I look at this problem, I have 30 minus 8 times 2. If I go back to PEMDAS, I have to solve this problem, this 30 minus 8 times 2, in this order. I have to start with whatever is in parentheses first. Okay. Do I see any parentheses in this problem? I do. I see that 8 times 2 is in parentheses. So according to PEMDAS, I have to solve what's in parentheses first. Okay. So whenever I solve equations like this, I like to go ahead and draw a big V to kind of keep my work organized. So I know I have to solve what's in the parentheses first. So 8 times 2 is actually equal to 16. So that took care of my 8 times 2. Now I can drop the rest of my problem down. And now I'm only left with 30 minus 16. According to PEMDAS, I did the parentheses. I didn't have any exponents. I had nothing to multiply, nothing to divide, nothing to add. So I'm down to subtraction. And 30 minus 16 is 14. So that would be my answer. Okay, let's try the next one. The next one, let's do 5 times 3 plus 2. Okay, and I want to make sure I keep my work in my V. So that's like number 1 and number 2. Okay, now let's go back and look at PEMDAS. Parentheses always comes first, and I have some parentheses here. So I need to solve what's in parentheses first. 3 plus 2. Well, addition and multiplication. Multiplication actually comes before addition, right? So I would think, well, I actually need to multiply before I add this, but that's not correct. I need to do what is in the parentheses first, no matter what the operation is. So 3 plus 2 is 5. That takes care of that. And I drop everything else down. 5 times 5 is 25. So that would be my answer. Okay, remember, and I'm following PEMDAS. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit of a different problem at you that has some other components in it. That's a little bit more. Okay, we're going to do 6 plus 98 minus 8 divided by 3 plus 96. Okay, so that's a bigger problem, right? 6 plus 98 minus 8 divided by 3 plus 96. Okay, so that's a pretty big problem. I have to go back and review my PEMDAS order and see what I do first. And again, I always do my parentheses first. So inside my parentheses is 98 minus 8. So I know that I have to do that first. So I'm going to go ahead and do 98 minus 8, which I know equals 90. Okay, so that's gone, and I drop everything else down. So my 6 and my addition sign come down, my division sign comes down, my 3 comes down, my addition sign, and my 96, right? Okay, are you with me? Had to do it was in parentheses first. 98 minus 8 was 90, and I just simply dropped everything else down in the correct order. So now I've got this big problem. 6 plus 90 divided by 3 plus 96. I don't even know where to start. I knew I did parentheses, but what comes next? Okay, exponents. Well, I don't have any exponents in this problem, so I can move by that. Multiplication comes next. Well, I don't have any multiplication, so I can keep moving. Division comes next, so now I have to divide before anything. Okay, I did what was in parentheses. I don't have exponents. I don't have multiplication, so I divide. So I need to look at what I'm dividing here. 6 plus 90. Well, I'm not going to do that because PEMDAS says the next thing I need to do actually is to divide. So I have to do 90 divided by 3. That's my next order of business. And I'm going to do that off to the side. So I'm going to put 3 into 90. How many times can 3 go into 9? That's right, it can go in 3 times. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Okay, I'm not done yet because I have a number in my dividend that does not have an answer above it, so I need to divide again. I put 3 into 0. 3 can't go into 0, it goes in 0 times. Multiply down. So my answer is 30. So 90 divided by 3 is 30. And then I just do exactly what I did before, and I drop everything down exactly in its order. Okay? So I'm working my way through this problem. I go back to PEMDAS. I did parentheses. I didn't have exponents. I didn't have multiplication. I did have division, so I did that, the 90 divided by 3. My next one is addition. And it looks like I have 6 plus 30 plus 96. So I can just add straight across. So 6 plus 30 is going to give me 36, then drop it down. 36 plus 96 gives me 132, which is my answer. All right, so that's how we follow the order of operations, okay? But it does get a little bit trickier, okay? And I'm going to talk to you about that right now. Okay. I want to now look at a problem that looks something like this. Okay, we have got a lot going on in that problem, don't we? Okay, we've got some different symbols that we haven't seen before. But we do know that we have parentheses. We've seen those. Okay, this symbol right here is called a brace. Okay, a brace and a brace. This symbol right here is a bracket and a bracket. And these are parentheses. So braces, brackets, parentheses. Okay. So when we think about PEMDAS, we have parentheses, and we need to add on to that. Parentheses, brackets, braces. and that's the order that we have to work now. So before, when we first started this video, we were only worried about parentheses, but now we have to move on. We have to worry about brackets and braces now, and we solve them in that order. So whatever's in the parentheses we solve first. Before we move down to anything else, we have to see if there's anything in brackets. Whatever's in the brackets we solve next. And before we move on, we have to solve anything that's in a brace. Okay, so looking at parentheses, brackets, and braces, let's look at this next problem. I know that I need to solve what is in parentheses first, always, which is 6 plus 4, okay? And I know that 6 plus 4 is 10. So I'm going to drop that down. Now, it's really, really, really important, I can't stress it enough, that you make sure that every symbol, every sign, every number comes down in place. So I'm going to drop the 45 down and the subtraction sign. I'm going to drop the brace down and the 3 times. Okay. I need to drop the bracket down. The parentheses are gone because that was the 6 plus 4. Drop the division sign down. Drop the 2 down, the bracket, and now the brace. Okay. So everything just came down in order. Okay. Really important that you remember that. So I did what was in parentheses. Now I have to do what's in brackets. Okay. Remember, these are my brackets. So my bracket is 10 divided by 2. So I need to put 2 into 10. And I know that 2 goes into 10 5 times. Okay. And I bring everything else down in order. I drop my 45 down, my minus sign. I drop my brace down. My 3 times comes down. And now my other brace. Okay. So the brackets are gone because it was 10 divided by 2. That's how I got my 5. Okay. So I did parentheses, brackets. Now I have to do what's in braces before I can do anything else. And what's in braces is 3 times 5. And we know that 3 times 5 is 15. And then I drop this down. Okay, so I did parentheses, brackets, braces. And I'm left with 45 minus 15. I don't have any exponents. I don't have any multiplication, no division, no addition. I'm just left with subtraction. And 45 minus 15, excuse me, is 30. Okay, so that was a much bigger problem than what we started with. So it's very, very, very important that you remember PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But also remember parentheses, brackets, and braces. All right, keep practicing.